Thanks, Linda. There's a few National Library staff and Libraries Australia office staff that I would also like to introduce, and others will introduce themselves to you at parallel sessions today. So Debbie Campbell, where's Debbie? Debbie's over there at the side, and Debbie manages the Collaborative Services branch in the Resource Sharing Division of the National Library. Rob Walls is sitting in the second row, and Rob runs the Database Services branch in Resource Sharing Division. We have some senior managers from the IT division today who you may wish to also approach during the day and talk to. Is Mark Corbold here? Mark's flight was delayed. Okay, James Bullen. James runs the Collection Infrastructure and Access branch, also known as the CIA, within the library's IT division. And James also worked on the redevelopment project of 2003 to 2005 and led the team that produced the Libraries Australia administration. Is Sue Collier here? Sue is delayed. Well, later in... No. Sue, could you like to stand up? Sue Collier is from the Libraries IT division. She's actually leading our single business discovery project, which you'll hear more about during the day. And Sue was also the key business analyst on the team that developed Libraries Australia Search. As I said, other Libraries Australia office staff will introduce themselves at parallel sessions. Before I start, a few housekeeping announcements. Is Simon Porter in the audience? Excellent. So that's good to know, Simon, that you're here. Simon's our second speaker today. Okay, just a few housekeeping announcements. Belongings for security purposes shouldn't be left unattended. There's a cloakroom, but it does close at 5 p.m. We are recording the presentations, audio recording them, and they are going to be available on the Libraries Australia website after the forum. If you haven't remembered to turn your mobile phone off, we'd be grateful if you could do that. We have toilets located on this floor. Now later today, there's a questions without notice session. And even though it's called questions without notice, we'd like you to put your question in writing and place it in the box at the registration desk, if possible. So please include your name and contact details for staff to follow up with you if they need to do that. I'll give you another reminder just before lunch. And we will take questions at the end of each presentation, and I think there should be some roving microphones that you can use. Just in introducing our first session then, after last year's Libraries Australia Forum, we asked you for feedback, and one of the messages that we got from you is that you wanted less talk from the National Library and more from others. So we actually have 4 visiting speakers on the program today. But we're still having interactive parallel sessions before and after lunch, and they will allow you to engage with staff from the Libraries Australia office and ask some detailed questions. And this afternoon I'll also be giving an overview report, and there'll be a further opportunity for questions after that. Now this first session is actually going to focus on authorities and authority control. And it's appropriate to do this because we're currently looking to repurpose our authority file. And we're doing that in the People Australia initiative, and we're looking to link up with other national and global data on people and organisations. Before introducing our first speaker, I'd like to connect this issue with the People Australia project, which has been making steady progress. What we've done in that project so far is to define a schema. We've actually built a database. The database has now been exposed using protocols like OAI and SRU, and some other stakeholders have started to use our persistent identifiers for people and organisations. We've built and are currently testing the software that will harvest that people and organisation data from partner institutions, and we've already reached some partnership agreements with a number of stakeholders in the archives and higher education sectors. We're also building a data administration tool to handle the human review of uncertain matches and to collocate different forms of name for the same person. And we do expect to commence operational data harvesting and dissemination early next year. So given that context, that project that is underway, it's timely to hear from our first speaker, Tom Hickey. And Tom will describe the very interesting work in the area of authorities that's taking place at OCLC. Tom is from the research department at OCLC. He actually helped to found the research department. And he's going to describe some recent developments in authority control at OCLC and also in the Virtual International Authority File project. The relationship that we have with OCLC is really important to us. And we had Karen Calhoun as a speaker last year, so it's very pleasing to be able to welcome Tom. I think it's Tom's first trip to Australia, and Tom is going to talk to us now about new futures for authority data. So welcome, Tom Hickey.